What do you think is inside the Van Allen belts? What do you think is inside the Van Allen belts? Plasma.
Holy mackerel. What's happened?
It's just the northern lights. Aurora borealis. High-energy protons spilling over into our atmosphere. They get through the magnetic shield where it's weak, at the poles.
What do you think the Aurora borealis is? Plasma? It's the same thing that's around that ship. Yeah, so how on earth are those signals at over 2 gigahertz getting through it? Yeah, so how on earth are those signals at over 2 gigahertz getting through it with one single dish on the ground to receive it?
We just got word from Houston. Let's go for launch.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Astronaut Neil Armstrong lands on the moon. People all over the world will be watching television pictures provided by the receiving dish in the town of Parks.
So what's this all about?
We've got the moonwalk.
Hey?
The moonwalk.
Why'd they pick us?
Turns out it's the largest radio telescope in the Southern Hemisphere.
What's it doing in the middle of a sheep paddock?
Which town is part of the Apollo 11 mission?
Parks.
The people at this place, they know what they're doing?
I believe so.
Bloody will hope so.
I mean, no offence, but the Americans spend billions of dollars to let us watch man walk on the moon, and in the end it falls to you blokes. I mean, how do you feel about that? A lot better before you opened your trap.
In a few days' time, we'll be watching television pictures from the surface of the moon.
Slap bang in the middle of it.
I must stress these are not to scale. Imagine the Earth is basketball.
This will be good.
And
I get it.
how do you reckon they go to the...
Up there. This is Al Burnett from NASA. Al's here to make sure that all the signals get back to mission control.
This was always your dish. You were always the boss. You'd never let anyone else come in and run the place.
I'm afraid we're going to have to get back to work.
You treat us like a pack of galahs.
That's a kind of parrot.
Have you thought about what's being attempted here?
Of course I have.
This is science's chance to be daring.
It will be one of the proudest moments in Australia's history. I think the computer's wiped.
Are we stuffed?
Yeah, we're stuffed.
Let me get this straight. Southern Hemisphere's prime receiving station has no idea where Apollo 11 is.
Yeah, it's on its way to the moon.
What if you come clean? Just tell NASA.
That we lost Apollo 11.
I wouldn't say that first.
How's it going up there?
Oh, good.
Except we've lost Apollo 11.
Oh, except for that.
Is everything all right at the dish?
Man's about to walk on the moon. And he still will. I made a commitment to NASA, and I intend to fulfill it.
You've got a visitor. It's the ambassador of the United States of America.
Oh, God. Space Nut knows everything about Apollo 11.
You know where it is?
With one single dish on the ground to receive it. Never mind a whole array of dishes, I could see that, maybe. But one single dish? Come on, guys. Give me a break.
When we get visitors come to visit us here at the Dish, our 3 famous questions are, can I take a hayride from seeing the movie? Where is Sam Neill? And can they play cricket on the Dish?
When the telescope was built back in the 1960s, Australians knew about it because it's always in the news. But since then, the public knowledge of the telescope had waned, but when the film opened, it reintroduced the telescope and the work that we do here to an entirely new generation of Australians.
Look, it brings a tear to my eye, believe it or not. I just enjoy watching the movie, and I think it just promotes Parkes as a lovely country town in the middle of New South Wales that has this iconic structure that brings all this science into our community.
I, along with my wife Lindy and our 2 children Hannah and Drew, were extras in the movie The Dish.
2, 1, 0,
The movie had its own storyline, and there was a lot of things that weren't true about Parkes that were portrayed in the movie. But certainly one of the things that was in the movie that was actually very true was the very strong winds that occurred on the morning of the moon landing.
So that was a really dramatic moment, and I think that was one of the things that inspired the filmmakers to actually come and do the film on that, because under those extremely trying conditions, you know, we were able to receive the TV pictures and share them with 600 million people around the world, 1/6 of mankind at the time. So it was a great triumph of Australian expertise.
I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene.
One of the contributions I made for the film was I provided the mathematical figures that appeared on the blackboard. In the film, as you know, they search for the missing Apollo 11. And I compared my results with the logbook entries to make sure that the figures were pointing in the general correct direction. And when I saw that in the film, I was really, really overjoyed. I said, right, it looked convincing to me anyway, so I hope it looked convincing to everybody else. But that was a lot of fun doing that.
Of course, the producers of the show would have wanted something historical for the filming. Forbes was used because they've got some magnificent historical buildings here. The magnificent town hall, that served as the venue for when, in the scene, the Mayor of Parkes welcomes the US ambassador. And that famous line where the mayor introduces his wife as a lemon. Who would ever forget that? Once the film was released and started to get wonderful reviews and started to make big money at the box office, and that's when that parochialism between the 2 towns started to shine through.
The radio telescope was certainly an icon of our community. It had been a part of our logo for many years, and we were very proud. It was something that people knew of Parkes' existence because of the radio telescope. But what the movie did was increase the profile of Parkes as a result.
Before the movie, the visitor numbers sat around 50,000 visitors to the centre. After the movie, they increased to over just on 150,000, so they nearly tripled, and they're currently sitting on about 100,000, which is great.
Well, the Dish has been absolutely great for the Parkes Radio Telescope because it raised the profile of the observatory and the work that we do here. It encouraged people to actually go back and find out what really happened here during the Apollo 11 mission. And then when they've done that, they then learn about all the work that we've done since then, and in addition to all that, all the great radio astronomical work we've done. The great discoveries we've made that has completely reshaped and caused us to reappraise our understanding of the universe.